Hi folks, I'm back. Welcome back. So, my kid's sister, I haven't seen her in about 5 years, 6 years. Well, she just moved up. Well, no, she just came up to visit for 2 days with two of her girls. And they're from North Carolina. So, we were talking about this and that, and I started talking a little bit about hard times and, my stepdad, who he talks like Daniel Boone and Jeremiah Johnson and Rimbaud, and so that didn't help matters any, right? That just doesn't help matters any at all. So I'm just talking, asking how the prices are down there, and gas is quite a bit cheaper down there than it is up here. But she said for her and her two girls at home, it's costing her $200 a week for groceries. And I asked if that had gone up from previous, and she most definitely said yes, it had gone up quite a lot, right? And things were getting more expensive. So I kind of led into it kind of gently, right, about what's coming and how I feel that, fall, winter, and next year's, we're going to start seeing harder times if things keep going the way they are, right? And she just smiled at me. So I know, well, I don't know, but I assume that she says, here I go. I'm back home and I'm in conspiracy land. And yeah, back home with the hex, right? That's how we all think, right? Well, those that are paying attention do. So, and then my dad starts going on about, being Daniel Boone. Well, no, he's not saying Daniel Boone, but he's talking like he's Daniel Boone, and he's talking like he's Rimbaud, and he's talking like he's Jeremiah Johnson. And that just doesn't help. That just doesn't help because she only smiled at me, but she was having a big old smile listening to him. So, but she's not prepared, folks. She doesn't have a means of defense. She lives in a better off apartment building, so she's got a little patio where she can grow tomatoes and peppers. And said she wanted to plant sweet pea. Well, sweet pea, they're pretty. They do. They're just pretty. But they're not edible, right? They're not edible, but I didn't go there. And I don't think she even knows I have a YouTube channel, maybe. I doubt if she's watched any, and if she has, probably not very many of them, right? So, she can't have chickens, she can't raise her meat, and she can't really have a big garden except for what's on her patio. Prices are going up. But she says, we've always had hard times and we've always come out of it. Well, right? We've always had hard times and we've always come out of it one way or the other. But coming out of it isn't guaranteed, folks, right? It's just not guaranteed. How hard and how bad will things get before they start making an uphill swing? How long will that be? Some people say that it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. If it gets worse than the Great Depression, folks, with the people that don't have skills and with their motivation level, it will be worse than the Great Depression, because all those people knew how to garden. They knew how to take care of themselves, right? Because that was the generation where they just did that. Now it's fast food and money comes easy and flip a switch, turn up the heat, right? So it's all transition. It won't be that bad. I don't need to protect myself. So I asked her, I said, if things get really bad, do you plan on coming back home? As in, coming in here? Well, she just kind of looked at me and smiled. So I think she thinks I've just gone a little crazy, folks. Now, I know she's a workaholic. I do know that. She has a really good job. And her kids are very physically fit, and they're into all these sports and activities, which keeps her busy because she's a single mom, right? So she puts long hours in at work, and then she has all these activities and trying to be a mom and trying to do everything, right? There's a lot of people in that boat. I wish her eyes were open a little bit. I do. But I think I could have gotten her to listen a little bit longer if my stepdad stopped being Jeremiah Johnson for about 5 minutes. So I worry, folks. I worry because she knows things are getting a little difficult. Prices are going up. But she's a workaholic. She doesn't sit down and she doesn't watch the news. She might catch what comes on the radio probably. You know, she's off to this event and that event with the kids, and she's probably not up to date, folks. And things will get better, right? It's only transitionary. So I'm hoping I can get her away from my stepdad long enough to talk with her, and hoping that my sister and brother-in-law could probably maybe put a little bug in her ear as well. Because I really don't think that she is getting the information that she needs to think about what may be coming down the road. And when I say maybe, I believe it's coming, folks. And I mentioned the dollar crash. And I gotta smile. I just gotta smile back. So I think she thinks I've gone completely wood square. I do. So I don't know, folks. I don't know what's happening. But it's frustrating and it's sad all in the same time, because this is the first time I've had to even talk to her about this. And, you know, Jeremiah Johnson had to step in, so I think that kind of set everything off on the wrong foot, right? But I'm hoping I get a chance to say something again, and maybe she'll stop laughing long enough to maybe do some research on her own, take the time to research on her own, or at least have a plan, right? So she never answered me about coming back home. I don't know, it's things like this that bother me. It does bother me, because if the world all goes to hell and she's caught 14 hours away, you know, if something major happened, she couldn't probably get home 14 hours away. She probably couldn't. So I don't know, folks. That's what I've got. I've got to go and get some stuff done, I guess. So thank you for coming back. I know a lot of you are in this same boat. I know you are. And somebody said the other day, I think it was Shelley, that she's tried to talk to her daughter about it and didn't get very far. So I can see where I'm going to have to be doing something on my end just in case I have a few more mouths to feed, right? That makes it awful hard on this one here, right? Makes it awful hard on me when you're trying to carry the world and trying to wake people up. And I've stopped talking to outside the family, but my kid sister, you know, I have never had a chance to talk to her about this. And I don't want to see any of them suffer, so I'm going to try to wake her up a little bit and have her come up with a plan or something for her to think about. Okay, it probably won't happen. Even if I approach it, it probably won't happen. You're probably right. It's all going to work out in the end, and it's just transitional, and you're right. It probably won't. But what if it does? What are your plans if it does go a little bit downward from what you're thinking and planning? So that bothers me a little bit. But there's only so much I'm going to be able to do, right? And I know you're all in the same spot. You're all in the same spot. Or most of you, anyway. Alright. Thanks for listening to me ramble about family stuff, I guess. But I know a lot of you can relate. I know you can. So, steadfast, folks. Thank you for coming back. And thank you for being here. You new subscribers, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.